Hello you lovely people and welcome. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Azurpoly Fouga Magister Charlie Mike 170. So let's look at the liveries that come with the aircraft. We have the French trainer livery, the Patrouille de France 1965 silver livery, Patrouille de France 1971 blue livery, the Dutch historic flight livery. We have the Patrouille Tranchant. If you've never heard of those are a French civilian aerobatic team. The Irish Air Corps, which funnily enough flew 6 of them until 1999. We have a special Tiger Meat livery which was sprayed up for the Royal International Air Tattoo back in 1991. And then we have the prototype Charlie Mike 170 in high speed silver. Weight and balance. Okay, so if you bought it off marketplace, this is what you're going to have. If you bought it third party, this is what you're going to have. But there is a difference with the third party, as it comes with the addition of weapons. Those are not added here, as you would think. They're added in Cockpit. If you have bought it from the marketplace, you can actually download a file which allows you to have weapons on that version of the aircraft, but you need to go to the Azurpoly website to download that. So that's pretty much it from the weight and balance side of things. So let's get into the aircraft proper and have a look around. I'm going to be choosing the prototype colour scheme, and we're going to be flying from RF Honington simply because I know this area best. So let's get in the cockpit. Okay, so before we jump into the cockpit, we'll do a walk around. As you can see, the flight model itself is absolutely stunning. Every rivet, every crease, every panel, all showing on the aircraft. A lot of love and effort has been put into this. I mean, it is a truly stunning addition to MSFS. Well, I know it's a simplistic aircraft, but it doesn't mean that the effort put in needs to be simplistic either. So Azurpoly know what they're doing. There are a couple of additions that you can remove from inside the cockpit, and those being the engine blanks, both ends, front and back, and the aerials for the radio. Also the addition of weapons, but we'll get to all the removables and the add-ons once we get inside the cockpit. So let's jump inside. Okay, so we're going to start with the tablet, or the electronic flight board as it's properly known. As you can see down on the left hand side here, there are sub-menus, and in those sub-menus there's options that you can click on. So with this aircraft icon here, you've got the externals, so you can set cold and dark if anything's up and running that shouldn't be. You can add and remove wheel chocks covers, show the co-pilot or instructor as he would be known, and you can also show antenna or remove it from the nose. You can open and close the canopies here. You can refill your oxygen tank if it's not 100% full. You can trigger a main circuit pressure failure, and then there's the addition of smoke, which everybody loves. You can either have the tick on or off, whether you want smoke on the aircraft or not. You can change colour. You can actually activate the smoke by clicking that there, or we have the switch in the cockpit. Next sub menu is the comms, so what frequency you're dialed into, your nav radio, and also your ADF. After that, we've got a map, which is a better addition than the default Asobo VFR map, and you can also highlight different options on here or zoom in and out. Next is your weapons. Now you can select just the pylons, so the Alcon LB52 and Matra LR20s, and if we go outside to look at that, you can see that the pylons have been added to the aircraft. and we can obviously add munitions to those. We can either have the Matra 122s or a 50 kilogram bomb. On the inners, you can have two T10 rockets, so we'll activate those, and I'll do an asymmetric loadout, and I'll put a Matra 122 on the left wing. So if we jump out again and have a look, you can see we have the Matras there and rockets on that pylon, and if we go to the other side, you can see we have the 50 kilogram bomb and rockets this side. Jump back in, but I'll be doing the flight without weapons, so we just remove the pylons there. You can see it clears all the weapons off. Just quickly show you the Mach 52 though, and as you can see, Mach 52 is just above the aerials on the nose there. Okay, so we'll remove that. Next option is the Autopilot. Now obviously this aircraft, being built in the early 50s, didn't have such sophisticated equipment as an autopilot, so Azurpoly have just added the basics, just so that if you're on a long flight you can take your hands off the aircraft and yeah, give them a rest, as this is a very hands-on aircraft. As you can see, it's got our heading and our altitude, all can be switched on and off via the switches on the screen. Then we come to our last page, which is information. As you can see, I've got the latest version, and the manual can be downloaded from azurpoly.com. The manual is actually in the aircraft folder under documentation. It's a PDF, which I recommend you read. It's got a lot of valuable information in there. And then the last but not least, this button at the end here, which can drop the tablet to your lap. So I'm actually going to close that now. We can have a look around the cockpit. Now I don't speak French or read French, so I've actually got an English conversion for the cockpit from FlightSim.2. So if you've noticed that there's something different to yours, that'll be it, just to help me out. So as you can see, we've got like all the labels, apart from behind the steam gauges obviously. Those are still in French. So we'll start from left to right. So the major part, this end, will be the canopy open and close, which is just basically clicking on the rail there. Under that we've got circuit breakers that actually pop out and go back in again. We've got red lighting and UV lighting, as this was the style at that time. Nav switch, so we can have them blinking or fixed on the wingtips. Climate control, landing light, whereabouts our wing flaps are, throttles, whether our undercarriage is in emergency or normal, spoilers, landing gears there, canopy lock, so that when your canopy is actually down you can click that to make sure that it's properly closed. Oxygen down here, that can be switched on and off by clicking this here. So if we click that, you can see the oxygen is starting to blink, and you can have it as normal or 100%, and obviously you've got your emergency that side as well. So we'll switch that off as we are not actually flying. You can tell that it's an old aircraft as well, just by the column alone. It's a split column, much like the Spitfire, the Vampire, the Meteor, all had that style of stick where it splits in the middle. So yeah, that you've got that, which is quite nicely modelled. All our various switches there: pitot heat, gyro, horizon gyro, compass, battery and generator. So I mean, it's really nicely detailed, and the weathering as well is very nicely done. You've got things like comms here, ADF, our intercom, and the nav radio there. engine starters, and the left and right fuel dump switches, along with a lot of circuit breakers. Okay, so yeah, one more addition. The Magister could carry ejector seats, but they had to be actually requested. So instead of an ejector seat, I'm actually sitting on a wooden tray. So yeah, comfort was the aim of the game there, obviously, and safety. So no ejector seat. Let's jump into the back and have a look around there. Okay, so we're in the back and looking around. We have a periscope here, which is comes out the top there, so that if you have to make a landing from the back, you can. I'm not sure if that's actually used to keep an eye on the student. I believe that's just for forward looking. We look around the cockpit, very much like the front, just no circuit breakers, no oxygen supply controls. We do have the ADF in the back, lighting again, all our warning lights there. Intercom is there, oxygen to tell you it's on and off, or switch to emergencies, or here. Again, all the gauges as in the front are in the same at the back. Landing gear switch, canopy locking, and console lights here, and your flaps, and another wooden tray for you to sit in, which is absolutely lovely. And then you've still got the controls for canopies, well, just your own canopy. So let's get this thing started up, rolling it, and get it in the air. Okay, so before we roll out, we'll just have a listen to the engines, see what the sound is like. Right, so I'm going to throttle up, put the toe brakes on. Okay, the toe brakes are holding the aircraft at full tilt. It's quite impressive. Sounds are good, as you would hope. Okay, so settle it. Okay, so the sounds inside, totally different. Really noisy. Settle the engines again. Okay, so let's close the canopies. Wow. I'll lock that one. Jump in the back. Jesus, that's noisy. Go for that. Right, lock that one. That's just about bearable. Okay, let's jump back in the front. Okay, let's get some lights on, internal and externally. So we'll switch on the compass light. We'll switch on our navs to fixed. Landing light on. Console lights on, as it's a little bit gloomy out here at the moment. Okay, so we'll make our way up to the runway and see how the ground handling is. So, toe brakes on. Put the toe brakes off. Okay, so we start rolling now. Would have liked a little bit of vibration on the instrument panel, but you can't have everything. The rumbling sound that you get with it gives the effect of rolling down a taxiway. Just check my smoke again. On blue. There's that. I mean, it handles on the ground really well. It's not really getting blown about much because of, obviously, we're not very far off the ground. It's like driving a little sports car around. So one last check, make sure everything good to go before we roll onto the runway. Okay, roll. Put flaps down, take off. Set deviation. Okay. Right, have a look around. One last look. Barometric altimeter is just off. Right then, let's roll. So brakes down, throttling up, let the engine settle. Usually settle around about 2,300, 2,250, and let go of the brakes. Good acceleration. Wait for it to bite. We're off. Gear up. Flaps up. See what the trim's like. Let go of the stick, nose down, trim out, trim out, trim out, trim out. Beautiful. It trims out fantastically. I'm going to climb up to 5,000 feet. Let's get our little tablet out. Autopilot. Switch it on. Okay, the quicker you press the buttons on either side, the bigger the increment. So as you saw, if I go slowly, it does 100 feet a click. If you go really quick or double tap, it will go up by 1,000. Heading, we will go to 070. There we go. I'll throttle back slightly. I don't like the sound of the wind. Whether that's like it on the real aircraft or not, I wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought there would have been some sort of pneumatic system between the airframe and the canopy to stop, you know, to really seal it up, but I've never flown the real thing, so I wouldn't know. So we'll slow it down to 200 knots just to get that wind noise down. Okay, so we are at 5,000 feet, as you can see. Got it at 200 knots, and the bearing still coming round to 070. Once we're there, we'll do some handling manoeuvres, so a bit of aerobatics. I'll show you the smoke, and then we will make our way back to Honington and do a landing, full stop landing. So there's Honington over there. So we'll change it to 080, because I I'm being lazy. Okay, put the tablet away, we'll get the autopilot off. I've trimmed out really nicely because it's not moved from 5,000. Okay, so speed it up slightly and we'll get some aerobatic manoeuvres to show you the characteristics. Get the nose down slightly actually. Over 250 knots, so I'm going to pull a loop. Pretty solid, very acrobatic this aircraft, so I should say aerobatic, not acrobatic. Okay, throttle back up again. A roll. Very nice. And opposite way. Brilliant. It's really solid. Just the wind rush is stopping this from being a truly fantastic module. The wind rush is just too intense. I probably can undo it in the sounds or something, but by default that's, I don't know, I just don't know. So we'll speed up again. I'm going to switch on the smoke and I'll have a look on the outside. As you can see, we've got blue smoke. Very, the dye seems to be very intense, which is nice, and it lingers for quite a while by the looks of things. So air displays in this will be something special. Although I don't think you can actually see smoke in multiplayer. Same with contrails. Sobo sorted it out. Okay, so we're smoking. Bad habit. Do a run and brake with the smoke on. Got the throttle back, so I don't want to overdo it. 300 knots. Turning in now. Foot. Through my own smoke. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so speed up, smoke off, go, brake into the circuit. Okay, I'm going to slow it down, get gear down. Flaps down. Nose down there, so trimming out. And like I said before, very solid trim. No wrestling with it. There you go. Lovely stuff. Just what you want. So you keep it around about 150 knots. circuit altitude 1,500 feet. Flaps to full. Bring the throttle back, and we're going to glide it in. Doesn't want to come down. Beautiful. Absolutely lovely gliding. Again, nose wheel is down. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the flight side of things. Let's get to the summary. So on to the summary. The Azurpoly Fouga Magister Charlie Mike 170 is a truly fantastic add-on. It really is. It's a solid performer. It sounds good, apart from the wind noise, but then again, I don't know if it was like that on the real thing, as I keep saying. Ground handling, flight handling, coding on this is absolutely beautiful. It really truly handles well, and it will bring a lot of enjoyment for those who like hands-on flying and early jets. Going on to the Magister, like I said before, if we come into resources on Azurpoly, I don't have the Epsilon, but that looks like a good one too. We come to the Magister section. Here's our flight manual, paint kit, and weapons manager. The weapons manager for those who have bought the marketplace version. Unfortunately, it won't work for the Xbox users if this is out for Xbox. I've not checked, but yeah, if you bought it through the marketplace, this is where you get your weapons manager, but you must make sure that the weapons manager version is the same as the version of the aircraft that you have, otherwise it will not work. I mean, I've never heard of Azurpoly before. If they're making a C-160, oh my god, I can't wait for that. They are. Wow, that's looking good. Anyway, yeah, so back to the Magister. It is absolutely fantastic, and I can't believe this. The aircraft, with the detail and the looks like the love and attention has been put in. I mean, these guys really have done a lot of work on this. I can't believe the price of it. It's, when I last checked, it was £21, and you're getting an aircraft that's fastish. It's not going to break any records or the sound barrier, but it's an early jet. The sounds on the aircraft itself are truly magnificent. The modelling of the aircraft is truly magnificent, and the flying itself is an absolute joy. I mean, I didn't think I would ever say that about a Charlie Mike 170. I think they're horrible aircraft to look at, but just the sheer level of detail in this for £21 is insane. Really is. I know it's a simplistic aircraft, but still. So if you want my opinion, if you don't own it, get it. You will enjoy it. It will put a smile on your face, and at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. So I will leave you with that, and finish with, as usual, thank you for watching, and take care, and I'll see you in the next one.